What is up, guys? This is gonna be like a somewhat of a quick video, and we're gonna go over this real quick. So let's not even get into Jason Oziel's video. I watched it. He's making 0 sense whatsoever. 0 sense whatsoever. So Rich writing, this is the one time I disagree with Rich. Hate to say it. So he's sharing this saying Carlsbad resident Jason Oziel used his 3 minutes during last night's city council meeting to offer his opinion about the roundabout at Carlsbad Boulevard and Tamarack Avenue that was approved 3-2 by council last week. We're not even going to get into Jason Oziel's video, but let's go and read the comments. Now, first off, there's one roundabout that we have here in Carlsbad so far, and I would love to see more. And that is in Carlsbad Village. And I have, every single time I've gone for that roundabout, entering into Oceanside, entering back into Carlsbad, I've always been in a car with family and friends. And every single time I'm in my friends' cars with them, or with family in our cars going through the intersection, it moves smoothly, actually. I haven't been in there lately, but I would say confidently it does run smoothly. I've never been a pedestrian, quite honestly, at that roundabout. I've always been in a car with family and friends. So, and it does run smoothly. So I would love to see more roundabouts, smoother traffic. Anyways, let's go into the comments. So Diane B writes, all excellent points. Several of the council members let themselves swayed by another council member who tried to dominate and cut off Carolyn and Mulaney when they were making comments. Hope Nelson writing exactly. Jason, every point hit exactly right. Thanks for this. Elizabeth Banks writes, thank you, Jason Oziel. Nadine Scott writing, too much traffic, too many bikes, too many pedestrians to ever be safe. Barbara Campbell writes, thank you again, Jason. Chris writes, saying, I appreciate your comments and wish you could have been here during the agenda. However, your review of the rather messy discussion was spot on. It was a big fail for Dr. Priya, Miss Teresa, Miss Luna. Wanamaker writes, well stated, no matter your side on this issue. Lori Batter writes, excellent presentation. Thank you, Jason. Okay. Jill Barzan Gongler writes, nailed it. Well said. Jason Oziel himself writing, I got cut off, but what I had planned to close with this was the fact that you voted on a wait and see approach at Canon is both laughable and shameful. And I'll remind you that the last time council dismissed the will of the people on a project of such great magnitude, it didn't work out too well for the council. Now, did it? Please remember this when making your decision final in a few years. In a few years, 3 minutes goes pretty fast. I know I didn't change anything last night, but it felt good to get it off my chest. They need to be held accountable. This issue is far from over. Yes, the cards are stacked pretty heavily against us thanks to the brilliance of Dr. Bob Patel and company, but the fight goes on. Howard writing to Jason saying, thank you for your presentation. Tyra Drogemuller writes, thank you. Elizabeth Banks writes, hope that Bob Patel, Costa, and Luna squirms. Okay. Peter Sue Landacor writes, Jason was excellent. I wish I had more time. We have been against the roundabout at the Tamarack site from the beginning. The roundabout at the North County entrance to the city is a mess at heavy traffic times, confusion, and the way too narrow passage have been a hazard from the beginning. This learning curve of who goes first is still not observed for pedestrians to cross it. It's a nightmare and will be even worse at the Tamarack crossing, which includes the area below for parking, since safety doesn't seem to be a priority in the council's decision making. Population and tourists increases, and police and fire equipment a required element. We urge the city to get more data and rethink their decision on the Tamarack Roundabout. Okay. Howard writing, Jason Oziel is my new hero. Wow. Good for you. Yeah, he's not a hero. His comments were disgusting. Yeah, Jason's comments were absolutely disgusting. Flat out. Do not call him a hero. That's fine. You want to lie, say he's a hero. Okay, whatever. Good for you. Moving on. Kevin O'Keefe writes, I'm in District 1, so I cannot vote on the threes next election. Something for y'all to consider. Terry Carpenter writes, Teresa Casas are for re-election. I voiced my opinion against the roundabout. Stacy Ogle Boyer writes, exactly. Michael Hedrick writes, will of the people. The Traffic and Mobility Commission voted unanimously to pass on the recommendation to City Council, and during the meeting itself, it seemed to me to be 60% for and 40% against. Plus, there is a mountain of solid data, international presidents, presidents, and the roundabout beats the intersection in almost every category, including cost. If anything, if they had the best interest of safety, traffic flow, pedestrian priority, aesthetics, air quality, and cost taxpayers as their guidepost, they all should have voted unanimously and unequivocally for the roundabout. Sam Parker White, writing dumb Mercians. My good friend Diana Agra writes, the roundabout off State Street feeding into Oceanside works great for cars, pedestrians, and bicycles, and it's aesthetically pleasing with the artwork in the center. Rich, writing Diana Agra writing, I walk and drive through that roundabout regularly. The traffic is often back up on all three streets feeding into it. I take my life into my own hands. When crossing as a pedestrian, I only venture into it when I cautiously determine that all of the drivers see me, and that often takes some time. Bottom line, it's not safe. Tyra Drogolimer writes Diana saying, we do not live in the same universe. I have seen accidents and near accidents very unsafe for bikers, pedestrians, and those so not know how to use a roundabout driving in a car. Sandchick, obviously I had to chime in on this. Sorry, I'm like really tired, but I still wanted to get into this. Sandchick, one of the most disgusting people ever, should not be commenting on this page whatsoever, but he does anyway to be a jerk. Writing, very well stated. The roundabout plan has little regard for pedestrians. I can see the line of traffic backing up through our, he didn't know how to spell village, right? But I know he knows how to spell, I know he's meaning village. Back at our village and to the roundabout at Oceanside City Line, which has no pedestrians, and by reducing to a single line, common sense says this is not feasible. I'm a 35-year resident of District 3. Okay, good for you. Michael Hedrick writes to Sanchik saying pedestrians have the right of way 100% of the time, with roundabouts thus giving priority to those traveling by foot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. In addition, the travel distance will be reduced by more than twofold across the street, allowing for safer and shorter passage across the intersection, making it the best option for the handicapped and elderly. My mom uses a cane and struggles to get across Carlsbad Boulevard. By the time the walk sign starts blinking, now she'll benefit from a much safer option and will finally actually be able to visit the beach confidently. Rich saying to Michael writing, so you're completely ignoring Jason's factual presentation. A roundabout does not work at this intersection. He backed it up with impeccable data specific to Carlsbad. Michael writing to Rich saying, I'm a scientist of over 25 years and have published over 50 publications ranging from Nature to the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and I'm very familiar with the analysis and just as importantly, the bias involved in interpreting data. Your assertion that I ignored Jason's presentation is 100% wrong, and honestly, a bit insulting. I listened intently to his presentation and saw obvious and glaring oversights that were not considered or mentioned. The most significant one being the learning curve inherently involved in the introduction of new technology. As far as I know, and I am 100% willing to correct my statement if I'm incorrect, Jason is not an expert in urban planning, traffic, flow, and patterns, and does not have formal education in the design of roadways or intersections. And you know what? Neither do I. So don't trust what I am saying either. What I do know is that city staff, the Carlsbad Police Department, and the Carlsbad Fire Department all came out in support of the project. City staff is specifically educated and trained to provide the best recommendation based on sound data research and historical precedents. I am willing to admit, in the absence of other information, that Jason is probably damn good at what he does, and I ask that you give the same benefit of the doubt to the city staff. So allow me to repeat your statement back to you. You completely ignore the city staff's factual presentation. Thank you, Michael Hedrick, for that. So shout out to you. Writing also to Rick saying, in my own anecdotal experience on foot, my bike, and by car, is that the intersection works and looks much better than the previous version. Rich writing to Michael saying, I've seen so many times over the past years that the city staff cherry picks data and spins it towards a desired result, always driven by money. When a passionate resident like Jason O'Zeal does his homework and actually presents factual information to the discussion, that's the definition of community engagement. I'll take his opinion seriously every time, and so should you. Okay, good for you. Michael writes to Rich saying, so what is the motivation of the city staff to recommend one option versus another? Are you insinuating that they're taking money under the table? Why would you somehow receive more money for recommending a roundabout, the cheaper by $500,000 option? Again, I derive my opinion from real information, so please provide me and others with evidence that supports your very serious accusation that the city staff's recommendation is always driven by money. I hope you have information that you're privy to that supports your very damning statement that essentially is disappearing private, non-elected individuals. I certainly would be 100% sure of myself before bearing witness against someone. Are you? And then Sam Parker White writing to Michael saying, I appreciate your input and value it as you do. Progress comes to die here. Okay. So basically, let's see. I'm going to assume, I think this is like the new one. So let's go and take a look at it real quick. We're on the same video. Oh, my eyes, hold on a second. My eyes are watering like retard, but let's just continue on with the video. Okay, so let's go and continue on with the video, guys. So I think this is like the new design, and it looks like, oh wow. I could see this actually working out very well. So it says here, Carlsbad moves slowly toward, on so many ads, on so many articles. Anyway, Carlsbad moved slowly toward possible Tamarack roundabout. Carlsbad, the city council gave the yellow light to a controversial new roundabout proposal along Carlsbad Boulevard on July 18th, tentatively approving the project, but only after a final review before, construction. Between installing a roundabout or traffic signal, council voted 3-2 to move forward with the environmental review, permitting, and final design of a roundabout at the intersection of Carlsbad Boulevard and Tamarack Avenue. Mayor Keith Blackburn and Councilwoman Mulaney Burkholder voted against the roundabout option. Before the city seeks a bid for the Tamarack roundabout project, however, city staff will first present a report within 5 months following the completion of the Carlsbad Boulevard and Canyon Run roundabout. The report would detail the effectiveness of a roundabout at Carlsbad Boulevard and Canyon Road, which is part of a larger previously approved improvement plan in the Terramar area. Overall, the process is expected to take several years. Construction of the Canyon Roundabout isn't expected to begin until 2025, according to a city spokesperson, and pre-construction efforts for the Tamarack Roundabout take up to 2 years. If Tamarack construction starts late in 2025, the project could be completed by late 2026. But that hinges upon coordination with state parks, completing an environmental review under the California Environmental Quality and obtaining the coastal development permit, staff wrote in report. So it sounds like, okay, we're all talking about this now, but there's going to be 2 in Carlsbad, right? But they're not going to be completed till like 2026. It won't start till 2025. So technically, we're to be like, it looks like you're like talking about this, I guess, for like a lot longer than expected. And quite honestly, I would say that, and also I have been through the roundabout, that Oceanside Village to Oceanside roundabout when taking the 101 bus, which is like, I forgot to mention that. So I used to go through that roundabout many times in friends' cars, in going, the family cars, and also on the 101 bus. So I know really well how that roundabout works. And like my good friend Diana Aguirre said, that it does move very smoothly. And Rich Newbert saying that, okay, he drives and walks through that roundabout daily, saying the complete opposite of what me and Diana Aguirre and Michael Hedrick are saying. The complete opposite, saying it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. It does work. And for someone like me, who's, like I said, taken the bus many times from Village, or, from actually Poinsettia to Oceanside many times. And it does. And by the way, that brings up a good point. Actually, the more that I think about this, before we get into this more and talk about it more, how about we have all the 101 bus drivers get up there and speak at the city council meeting and explain how well that roundabout works. I would say, right? Because the 101 bus, definitely, if you're going to Oceanside, and if you're to be going from Oceanside to the Village area or even further, the 101 bus goes through that roundabout so many times throughout the day and into the night. So it does work very, very well. So how about, I would suggest about 101 bus drivers get up there and speak at city council meetings to give their thought process and all this, considering they drive a bus, a city bus, which buses are way harder to drive than cars, right? So that's just my thought. I think that would benefit greatly when to discussing this and making the final decision on what to do. Which I think we do deserve to have some more roundabouts, because seeing that roundabout, where I've got through it so many times throughout the years, taking the 101 bus, going with friends, family, in the car, you know, it does run smoothly. It's very smooth. So yeah, I would suggest highly on having 101 bus drivers do that, go talk, because that would great, go talk at a city, go speak at a city council meeting, and obviously they'd be for it. So yeah. So all you 101 bus drivers out there, if you guys are watching my videos, please consider doing that, because I know that you guys drive to the intersection daily, so I know that obviously a bus is harder to drive than a car, so it definitely moves very smoothly. So anyways, the traffic moves very smoothly, and the bus drivers do an amazing job driving the 101 bus through that roundabout and going in both directions, very smoothly. Let's go ahead and move on to, so it says here, the Carlsbad, so this is the picture. So the Carlsbad City Council tentatively approved a roundabout at the intersection of Tamarack Avenue and Carlsbad Boulevard. So what should be like right here. I think would be great, actually. Let's go ahead and Tom Frank, the city's transportation director, and Lauren Farrell, an associate engineer, gave a detailed presentation regarding options for a roundabout and traffic signal at the Carlsbad Tamarack intersection, but focused on the roundabout, citing national data that indicates roundabouts are less expensive and reduce fatalities and collisions. Our number one concern for the community is to make it slower and safer for all of the users and increase opportunities for active transportation users, Frank said. By making changes to designs to our streets, we're influencing the way people use our streets. According to the Transportation Research Board, roundabouts have reduced the number of fatalities on roadways by 90%, injuries by 67%, and crashes by 35%. The city also cited a report by the Federal Highway Administration that roundabouts reduce the frequency and severity of crashes by eliminating the most severe types of crashes, high angle movements, including right angle, left turn, and head-on collisions. The agency also noted that roundabouts decrease conflict points, crosswalk intersections, etc. between vehicles, pedestrians, and bicycles. Farrell noted that a roundabout at Carlsbad Tamarack would widen sidewalks and shorten the distance for pedestrians crossing the street by half, from 90 feet to 44 feet. Staff reports the city's first roundabout at State Street on Carlsbad Boulevard, in operation for the last 9 years, operates efficiently and effectively with multi-modal traffic, modal traffic, including vehicle volumes of up to 19,600. I don't even know what that means. Okay, so it says here also that the environmental benefits include reducing emissions and fuel consumption at intersections, which in turn improves local air quality, reduces greenhouse gas emissions. The staff's report reads. Frank said that the city received a $1 million active transportation grant from Sandag for the project, which can be used for either the roundabout or traffic signal. Nearly 24 speakers voiced their opinions during the meeting, with the community split nearly 50-50 over the roundabout. Supporters said a roundabout would provide better safety for motorists, pedestrians, cyclists, and skateboarders while reducing emissions and vehicle speeds. There's also been a lot of I've noticed here and there, not all the time, but here and there, I've noticed a lot of people, riding electric skateboards in the bike lanes. Which I don't think is safe, but I don't know. We're not talking about that right now. Anyways, just thought I mentioned that because they mentioned that. And they mentioned skateboards, so I mentioned that about there's a lot of people riding e-skateboards in the bike lanes, which I think is unsafe. But anyway, Mark Embry, whose daughter-in-law, Christine Embry, a Carlsbad mother who was struck and killed by a motorist while riding her e-bike last August on Basswood Avenue and Valley Drive, spoke passionately about the need for a roundabout. The driver of the vehicle, Lindsay Turnmell, 42, faces a charge of a misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter in Vista Superior Court. The driver who hit Christine Embry chose to be distracted, Embry said. If you vote for intersection, you're allowing people to make decisions. You have to vote for the roundabout and make bicyclists and drivers engage with the roads. Opponents of the roundabout said the construction is awkward and confusing and could impact emergency response times and present a possible danger for cyclists choosing between a roundabout or a multi-use pathway alongside pedestrians. Others noted that if a collision occurs in the roundabout, motorists on Carlsbad Boulevard will be trapped due to congestion. Some also argued that crashes or incidences on Interstate 5 already forced motorists to use Carlsbad Boulevard, serving the only to create more congestion along the popular thoroughfare. One thing I want to chime in real quick about the fact that it would make drivers and bicyclists, engage more with the road is so that way you're not distracted. Drivers, so to speak, being the main people. So in this picture, it shows here we got the Tamarack Roundabout is contingent on data collected from the soon-to-be installed roundabout at Cannon Drive and Carlsbad Boulevard. According to the staff report, a roundabout would result in less delay for all users if I-5 is blocked by traffic. Plus, motorists may also utilize El Camino Real, which already handles a large volume of traffic, as another potential option. Former City Traffic and Mobility Commissioner Steve Link gave a presentation questioning the city's analysis of and comparisons to the State Street roundabout. Link noted staff's analysis primarily relied on national data on roundabouts instead of using information collected from local roadways. Citing data from the Carlsbad Local Roadway Safety Plan that includes the city's crash data from police reports over a 5-year period, Link said the State Street roundabouts had the highest intersection crash rate in the city 15 total collisions and is in the top 3 for intersection crash frequency, between 15 to 18 collisions behind the intersections at El Camino Real and Melrose Drive on Palomar Airport Road. Link said that the State Street roundabouts overall collision injury rates are each roughly 5 times higher than all other intersections. Its high volumes of intermingling vehicles, pedestrians, bicyclists, and transit raises serious safety concerns and congestion concerns, he said. The most recent traffic study and the content in the staff reports and presentations have been thoroughly cleansed of all the disadvantages of roundabouts. This is marketing spin rather than the unbiased information you should expect to guide your decision making. Throughout the meeting, confusion swirled around the proposed timelines between Cannon and Tamarack roundabout projects. The Coast News should not confirm the Cannon project's dates prior to the publication. Blackburn, who said he typically doesn't favor roundabouts, was nearly convinced to support the option but had too many concerns, noting the comparison between Carlsbad Boulevard intersections at Cannon and Tamarack were apples and oranges. For example, Cannon has a different configuration. It doesn't have the same pedestrian traffic, beach access, or bathrooms nearby, Blackburn said. Burkholder said her concerns center on the pedestrian safety and a lack of comparable intersections and residents' feedback, since the city cannot work on 3 roundabouts for Manzano Drive to Island Way, concurred with Tamarack and use it as a metric. Burkholder said she couldn't support the roundabout at Tamarack. Bob Patel said the roundabout is positive and increased safety by stopping drivers from running red lights. Councilman Carol Luna said she trusts the staff as subject matter experts on the roundabout decision, although expressed some trepidation about whether the intersection was appropriate for a roundabout. So what I'm going to go ahead and do later on tonight is I'm going to go ahead and go back to that meeting, and I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to read all these comments here on this article, but I want to go back into that on the City of Carlsbad website, film it for you guys like I do, because I'm curious to really hear what more so Blackburn and Burkholder said about this. Still gonna post, with Burkholder's comments, it's just gonna be her own video where I title it Mulaney Burkholder's temper tantrum on roundabouts. Okay, so I'll go into that later, but I thought that because I'm like curious now. I know that I go back and play the video, record the video, put it on here when I'm at the meetings, but I'm very curious to really see, and I want so you guys have to look for it yourselves. I'll go and find it, record it, put it on here for you guys to see it on my channel. But I am just very curious to see what they all have to say. So let's go ahead and read the comments from Diane's post. She just shared the article. 21 comments. Let's just go ahead and read it anyway. So Barbara Siegel writes, so have there been accidents and collisions at the intersection again? Why is this necessary? I was at the PCH State Street roundabout yesterday. What a mess. Bikers, motorists, pedestrians. It seems to me there's more opportunities for accidents in a situation like this. Get on the bandwagon for roundabouts. Think of the elements involved here, not only north-southbound drivers of Carlsbad Boulevard. going straight or turning onto Tamarack, westbound Tamarack, going into north or south, or going straight in Tamarack. When then the parking for Vigilucci's, what a cluster, and then that word, and oh, the much needed roundabout at Hillside and Coronado. I'm almost always the only car using it at any given time, and the one a block away at Kelly School, what a mess. All they had to do is put a stop sign at the corner, a school, and now I'm done with my rant for now. Kevin O'Keefe writes, I'm having a difficult time determining how pedestrians safely cross the intersection and roundabouts. The traffic never stops. From the picture above, it looks like when the pedestrian warning light is activated, the roundabout will jam up, virtually acting like a stoplight. So what we do again in these high pedestrian traffic intersections, Diana Beer and Kevin saying, and trying to cross at midnight with no lights, a scary proposition. Sanchik obviously had to chime in. I'm just gonna read his disgusting comment anyway. There's nothing to be gained. Jason O'Zeel. Oh my god, don't listen to Jason O'Zeel. My god. Don't even bother watching his video. Don't even bother. That's why I didn't play it for you guys. Not gonna give him that satisfaction. Attention that he so craves. Anyways, Jason Ryan kept saying they don't. Chris White saying, Kevin O'Keefe saying, according to the city traffic engineer from Tom Frank. I'm sorry, read that. So Chris White and Kevin O'Keefe saying, according to the city traffic engineer Tom Frank, we are supposed to make eye contact. No, not feasible at night, as I know several people who qualify as blind. How does someone that is blind being at night, how does that, do you think people that are blind are going to be crossing the street in the middle of the night or like at night at all? People are blind, they're smarter than the rest of us. Let's just put it that way. Okay, feasible at night, and I know several people who qualify as blind. How are they supposed to cross when they can't make eye contact? We have data from State Street, Carlsbad Boulevard roundabout from the roundabouts on Leucadia Boulevard. We're heading west. There are two roundabouts with a stop sign in the middle. Guess what? There are more accidents in the roundabouts than the one stop sign between both of them. Residents were able to remove a roundabout on Cassia. So I think this is a horrible waste of money. And the city manager wants to raise our sales tax. Lisa Marie writing, no, no, no. Bill Hansen writing, what a stupid idea. There's absolutely no need for this caused by bureaucrats looking for more nihilist projects to justify their excuse. Beverly Laporte Harris writing, that's California. Sandchick, oh wow. And then Jason O'Zeel, oh wow. The people that have the audacity to believe Jason O'Zeel is just ridiculous. But we're just gonna read Jason's disgusting comment, Sanchik's comment. Oh my god. Okay, let's just go ahead and read it. Anyway, these two people, complete psychos. So Sandchik writing, this should back up southbound traffic all the way to Oceanside. How anyone tell us with a straight face that reducing total traffic lanes from 4 to 2 will actually benefit the flow of traffic? I'd station a Carlsbad Police Department traffic officer nearby for a couple of months to handle the road rage instances. Okay. Or whatever. Jason writing, once the cannon run, this is a long one, obviously. Like, he just craves the attention. But I'm gonna read it for you guys so you guys don't have to. Once the cannon roundabout, this is again from Jason O'Zeal, another disgusting individual in this world. Once the cannon roundabouts get built and staff begins, I don't know, actually, that actually happened. Once the cannon roundabout gets built and staff begins to analyze the effectiveness, we need to organize a day where we have hundreds of pedestrians cross back and forth through the intersection, pulling wagons, children, beach toys, etc., to simulate a Tamarack scenario. We also need to get lots of kids on e-bikes to simultaneously ride through the intersection and up onto the sidewalk. I guarantee we will bring traffic to a complete standstill. We need to film all of this with an overhead drone and present this back to council to show them that staff has their head up their ass and is only presenting ideals, not real world situations. We cannot give up this fight. There is still hope, but it will take everyone that bitches here and on next door to show up rather than hide behind keyboards. If more people would have shown up at the meeting and voiced the same disdain for this project that they did online, we may not have been the situation. Just saying, actions speak louder than words, people. Okay. So basically what Jason O'Zeal is saying, that we should have hundreds of pedestrians cross back and forth right now, pulling wagons, children, beach toys, a lot of people on e-bikes, and have a drone film it all and have that drone footage be brought to the council. Do you see how that doesn't make any sense? Jason O'Zeal is wanting to create a problem. So Jason O'Zeal is basically wanting to create a problem, like how shark bands are creating a problem that are not ideal, right? Same thing. But anyways, Diane B rating saying, great idea, and I'm in. Okay, good for you. Chris Rice saying, I'm in too. Barbara Stiegler saying, I'm certainly ready to do whatever it takes. We just need an organizer. Okay, good for you. Scout songwriting. The city repeatedly asked for our input and we gave it, only to be ignored again. It's a pattern with this board. I've lost confidence even in wanting to try to email us your thoughts campaign, since they don't seem to pay attention. Barbara saying, Scout saying, I've been saying that exact thing over and over. I've given my input over and over and it makes zero difference. I don't know what Nick Cowley is trying to Kitchen Christian. Okay. Vicky Wilson McLeese is writing, terrible idea there. Why did I waste my time on that survey? I haven't talked to anyone that this is a place for a traffic circle. Okay. Chris writing to Vicky Wilson saying, one of the speakers at the council meeting was a former chair of the Traffic Safety Mobility Commission. She was for the roundabout, saying that the public opinion should never be elevated above the professionals. Watch out. Ms. Gotkin may be running for City Council District 2 in 2024. District 2 in 2024. Who actually knows they're talking about? Vote for Ms. Gotkin. And let's vote So for those who live in District 2, let's vote, Mulaney Burkholder out of here. Diane writing to Chris saying, while also making a huge point that she is a professional, it doesn't go both ways. I guess I am a professional, only matters when it's something she supports. Vicky writing to Diane saying, right, we're all professional beachgoers. I have been going to the pit on Tamarack since it was built when I was a teen in the 70s and 80s. A roundabout there, people going straight, coming up and going down hills will not work. All they need is a proper crosswalk. Okay. So, there you have it, guys. This is, I don't even know how to feel anymore about this. I mean, other than vote for this, let's make it happen. It's a much safer idea. And I think, and especially when it comes down to, drivers in particular, there's so many drivers that drive recklessly, super dangerously, driving up and down so many streets, not paying attention. They're going way over the speed limit. And I think with people like Jason Oziel, Rich Newmarich, and many others in the comments here, they're saying that they are opposing this, they don't want this to happen, is they're just wanting to voice their opinion on something that they know is not going to work. And two is they want to continue to drive recklessly is what they want to do. One of these days, I'm going to propose an idea to the city council about two different things here. So on Snapdragon, for those of you that live in my neighborhood, that have noticed that I have, whether it's not just me on my scooter, but it's also when we're in our car, we come and go from Bataquitas. Nowadays it's on an everyday basis. So if you see me, if you see us in our car leaving our neighborhood, coming home via Bataquitas versus Snapdragon, which Snapdragon gotta make more sense because it's on our street, whatever. But what I want to propose is that one, that those of us that live in this neighborhood, specifically that live on this street, I will mention, not here, but at the council meeting to bring it forward. But, that the Snapdragon, that red light, when all of us on our bikes, scooters, cars, when we're all waiting patiently at the red light up at Snapdragon to turn left, we're sitting at that intersection, it seems like for 30 plus minutes, and it never stops. And when it seems like cars going back and forth, going both different directions, that green light, and then it's going for a while, and then when you think that it's red, goes to red, think, oh great, it's gonna turn green. Nope, we still have to wait a while. All of us on our bikes, scooters, in our cars, we're all sitting at that stoplight for such a very long time. And I believe there's a camera. I think that's the technology we have nowadays that I've noticed. And that needs to be changed. Just saying. And also the streets here, it needs to go from a 35 and 40 mile per hour down to like 20, 25. Because cars are going so fast. And for the last 2.5 years, I am so lucky to be alive. which, by the way, me getting hit, not my fault. That was that lady's fault. So those are the two proposed ideas I have. But anyway, so those are two proposed ideas, and I'm gonna bring forth at some point. Most likely this year. I don't know. I'm gonna bring that forward. I don't know. I'm gonna bring that forward. Um. But anyway, so without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would help me out a lot on my channel. Support my channel. And so, if you like videos like this, please, which I know you guys do, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers to start with pretty soon. And yeah, all right, see y'all in the next few videos. Peace.